All right, everybody. Welcome to the Irish Sports Show and Podcast. And I am your host, the Irish Sportsman, Sadler. That's right, that is me. We got a lot to talk about and some good news and whatnot. So let's dive right into it. Let me just do. Let me just bring this up. Here we go. There we go. Let's start off with some power ranking NFL for the latest rankings. And it's going to be with the starting with the Philadelphia the Eagles at 190 with the overall score of 92.6. The overall roster score is 97.1, which is number one. They're eighth in quarterbacks, 10th in coaching, and one in the front office. Okay, I never thought they would give a rankings for the front office, but they do. 97.3 for the office, 87 for the coaching, and 87 as well for the quarterback. As well. Okay. Number two, we got a 92.1 for number two, the Baltimore Ravens. They are ranked second, third, sixth, and second. That's the overall roster, the quarterbacks and the coaching and the front office. Again, I'll give you the scores, the number, and the overall scores, and I'll break down. Give you going down. I'll show them overall roster, going to go quarterback, coach, then front office. All right, number three, we got the Chiefs with an 89.5. They ranked one for the. They ranked seventh, 1-1, and sixth. With 83.85, 98.5, 95.3, and 83.5. Okay, but let's focus on this one. All right, number four with an 87.7 got the Buffalo Bills. At number four, at five, we got the Detroit Lions with an 87.2. All right, let me just check something here. This is the future power ranking. So, she's at 3. We got the Bills at 4. You got the Lions at 5 and 87.2. Not bad. Green Bay Packers at number 6. Looking good. Okay. Denver is at 7 on here on this particular one. You got the Texans at 8. Niners at 9. You got the Washington Commanders at 10. Vikings at 11. And yes, the Vikings did win last night in combat fashion with the hometown kid as a quarterback. Chargers at 12. 13, you got the Rams. 14, you got the Buccaneers on this one. Cincinnati at 15. The Raiders is at 16. You got 17, the Cardinals of Arizona. You got. Okay, looks like we have a tie for 18. Looks like we have a tie for 18 with the Bears and Chicago as well as the Patriots. Okay, we got a tie for 18. Okay, that's been a while since I've seen a tie on a power rank. At least for this particular one. Then you got the Jaguars at 20. You got Seattle at 21. 22, you got Pittsburgh. Yeah, I give that, especially where Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk more about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers in a little while. We got the Cowboys at 23 on this one. Dolphins at 3-4. And we're talking about the downfall of Miami and Tua as well. 25 is the Titans. Cleveland at 26. Colts at 27. Falcons at 28. And 29, we got the Jets. Then the Panthers at 30 and then 31. Giants. And then 32, we got the, I believe that will be the Saints. And that is the NFL future power rankings for all 32 teams. Let me see if I can pull. Let me see if I can get another sound just to make sure I got them right. Okay. Here we go. This one should do it. This one would be more accurate than the one I just read off. All right, here we go. Now we got it right. Now here's the right one. The power rankings after week 1, went into week 2. Okay, and number 1 of the actual power rankings, we got the Buffalo Bills at 1. Yes, they totally deserved that one for sure. For the way how they came back against Baltimore this past Sunday for the win, the 41-40 victory. And with that, they bumped up 2 spots at the number 1 spot since the preseason ranking at 3. You got the Eagles at 2, and that's about right for me. I need some water here because I need to wear my whistle. There we go. I have my whistle so I can make sure I give you all this. Again, number 2 got the Eagles, and after the beating the Cowboys 24-20. We'll talk more about that. And of course, one of those has to do with the rookie out of Alabama that played for about 5 snaps on defense, and he was credited with the key force fumble in the second half. That's been a promising Cowboys drive. He finished with 3 tackles and did not allow an interception. The 2 times he was targeted in the passing game. Campbell's most memorable play was a pass breakup deep down the seam where he stayed stride for stride with the tight end. Brian spin forward and denied a pinpoint pass from Dak. The linebacker, Kendall Campbell, Zach Bond, of course. The Badger has the potential to put one of those best in the league. Yes. Okay. Number 3, we got the Ravens. Even though they are starting the season with 0-1, I think this should be about right. I could have gone 4 myself, but I think they got this one right. And yes, they were at 4 in the preseason going into week 1. Now these other games are going into week 2. Packers are number 4. Pretty 7th in the preseason. And of course, let's see how well they do with this next game coming up on Thursday night football against the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. And if you don't have Prime Video, make sure you do sign up for Prime Video. Make sure you have that free app download on your mobile devices and your TV, and make sure you're signed up. If you don't, I recommend you do. All right, now again, so number 5, this should be about right. I could have gone 7 or 6 here with this one. and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, they are also started at 0-1 as well. and touch the preseason rankings, they dropped 3 spots from to the power rankings from the preseason. And don't forget they were playing in Sao Paulo last Friday night. But when I was watching that game, it felt like the field was a little better than it was last year. I don't know if it was the same field or if it was a different field, but it was a little better. Not as sloppy as it was last year with the conditions of the field. Like I said, I'm sure if it was the same field or a different field, but to me it looked a little better. Because there's not much of slipping and sliding and whatnot. All right, but anyway, let's move on. We got number 6. We got the Commanders at number 6. This is going to be good. And of course, they got the newcomer with Double Samuel as well. Let's see how well the Commanders will do this Thursday night against the Packers as well. Yes, at number 7, we got the Rams at 1-0. The LA Rams. And Bradford was doing pretty well. All right, Detroit is at 8. That's about right. I'll go 9 or 10 on that one. Especially with the way they were playing, because yes, we all know they have not one but two new coordinators, a new offense and a new defensive coordinator as well. And you can tell by just watching them in last week's game against the Packers, and you always see that throughout the season as well. That last year's Lions was all about how good their offense and defensive coordinators were. And of course, one of those guys is now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. The Bears, the losers. That's what I call them because I'm a Packer guy. But anyway, we got the Chargers at 9. With their week 1 victory over the Chiefs, yeah, they totally deserve to be at number 9. I could go on 8, but they're 9. From previously from 14th ranked in the preseason, going into week 1. And then in a little while after I do this, I will go into week 2 and go from there as well. Right, at number 10 we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also at 1-0. And they are up 3 spots from their preseason rankings of 13, beating the Falcons as well. And looking at this here. And yes, Baker Mayfield was looking pretty good as well. For what I saw of highlights that I saw. All right, number 11, we do have the Denver Broncos with a 20-12 victory over the Titans. And of course, Tennessee's going to be Tennessee for quite some time. They're not going to be relevant for a while, a good long while. I won't be shocked if they get the first overall pick again 2 years in a row. I won't be shocked if that happens. At all. I will not be shocked at all if Tennessee ends up getting that number 1 spot again in the next year's draft and having a back-to-back number 1 picks in the draft in the last 2 years, including this coming year, including last season as well as this season. And of course, at number 12, we got the Bengals and Joe Burrow with the win against the Browns. But this one was a lot tighter than I thought it would be. 17-16, which means to me the Browns are starting to show to be a little bit more relevant than they used to be. With Joe Flacco as their starter, and of course their two backups, Shador third, and then Sanders third, and then of course I can't say his name. Let me pull it up. Yeah, that's right. Flacco, they brought Dylan Gabriel, and then Sanders. That's the, I think it's Dylan Gabriel right there. All right, now at number 12, we got the Minnesota Vikings, which they beat the Bears last night in Monday Night Football with a score of 27-24. And yes, I I did my show last night. I got pushing most of my platforms. I'm going to finish that up a little later once I get done with this. My live here. Anyway, like I said, Vikings are at 13 and they dropped 3 spots when it comes to the preseason rankings at from 10 to 13. All right, at number 14, we've got the Niners of San Fran. And also, I want to know, but they won their game against the Seahawks, but also tight. That's only a 4-point game. A 17-13 win. And yes, they are dealing with some injury still. The calf injury McCaffrey has, but it looks like he's doing all right. All right, at 15, also the 1-0, we got the Steelers of Pittsburgh as well. Aaron Rodgers. What should I say about Rodgers? He's showing, I see some promise. A little better than he started 2 years ago after he went down on that Achilles injury, and then as well as last year, we had only a couple of wins, a handful, less than a handful of wins last year as well. With that 34-32 victory. And the other one since the preseason ranking of 16 as well. It says Rodgers had 4 touchdowns, but the 4 touchdowns was also fumbled, a forced fumble on special teams to set up the fourth quarter to go ahead touchdown all together. Although he only had 19 yards on 7 carries, he had 3 more snaps than starting quarterback Jalen Roland also has involved as a pass catcher with 3 receptions. Okay. At 16 and 0-1, you got the Houston Texans. Sorry about that, folks. I meant to turn that off. There we go. That's better. All right, got Houston Texans at 16. There's a little. They're down by a couple, several from the preseason rankings from 16 to 16, 12 to 16, but they're doing well. But they lost their game 14-9. And of course, they have the newcomer running back Nick Chubb. I thought Chubb was going to have a breakout performance in week 1. Apparently, he didn't do much at all, with only having 9 points. And y'all know that there being 9, that could either be a touchdown and safety or 3 field goals, why not? So the Falcons are 0-1 as well, 17 to the loss to the Buccaneers as well. And they're up 2 spots from the preseason rankings of 19 to 17 as well. All right, I know at 18 as well. Also with the 1-0 start against the Cardinals of Arizona. And with their win against the Saints, 20-13. Okay, that was a really low scoring game. A little lower than I thought it was going to be. and be a little up as well too, because they could have been a lot less. But hey, at least the Cardinals are doing a lot better than the things have been in years. I do mean years and years and years. All right, the Dallas Cowboys do start their season with an 0-1 start, with the loss to the reigning and defending World Series champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles fly. And yes, this is one thing that I definitely want to bring up about the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. Will African, I believe they could repeat. I know the Chiefs done that. And let's see if the Eagles could repeat, at least getting into the playoff. But like I said, me and Michelle Bowman both agreed. Even though we both are Packer fans, we both see the Green Bay Packers and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. But should I both believe the Bills are going to win, though? The Las Vegas Raiders are showing 1-0 with the win over the Patriots 20-13. And they're up by 4 spots from the preseason rankings of 25 to the 21st pick. You know what? Let me take a second here. And of course, I got my newest flavor I'm going to show you. I tried it before. My newest on here. The strawberry watermelon prime. I don't eat much. I used to love a watermelon as a child to eat it, but I don't like now. But I definitely will drink it. If it's in a drink, I will drink watermelon juice. But hey, strawberry and watermelon, that is like kind of somewhat a whimsical type taste. And I discovered in the water. Yeah, that's good. Of course, this wine break is sponsored by Pine. I can tell you, feel the strawberry and that watermelon come right through. Yeah, I believe I said number 21 was the Raiders. 25. Okay, number 22 was the Jacksonville Jaguars, starting with a win over the Panthers. And a friend of mine who actually played for both of the two teams. He was a former, he was a Wisconsin Badger, as well as a Jaguar and a Panther. I'm happy to say that he and his wife Lexi have given birth to a baby boy. So congratulations to the happy couple of Lexi and Brad Norman. Congratulations, and I love you guys. May your baby boy grow up big and strong like his father. Okay, now let's get back into it. And number 23 got the Colts taking on the fans of Dolphins. And yes, those fans were flying, but not flying much. They only got that victory. They only won that one. It was 33-8. That's right. They only had the one safety and the one touchdown and the one safety. And that's all they could get. That includes the rookies that were drafted at 14th overall as well to the Colts. This one was Warren, leading the team with 7 receptions and even hauling a deep ball from quarterback, of course, Daniel Jones. I suspect he has a difficult to bring it down with a 33 of his 76 yards. Coming after the catch. Right, that is pretty good. If he can use that number, 33 of 76 of the yards, as an average in each game, he could have a good season himself. Okay, now we got 24. My bad. At 24, the Them Bears, them Chicago Bears. The Bears. I think the Bears will lose, but it's the Bears of Chicago. Of course, with their loss last night on Monday Night Football. 0-1 season they start off with. Which they also needs to drop 3 spots from the preseason ranking of 21. And yes, they also had to place Jalen Johnson. And of course, they will have to have a player. They had one of the newcomers play in taking the place of Jalen Johnson, who went down on injury and Wyatt broke the game, opening 74-yard pick six. That's right. The Bears had a pick six in last night's game, and yet they lost the game with the 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone with J.G. McCarthy. And there's two of them, he threw for 2 touchdowns, and he ran for 1 himself. Okay. Oh, I see something about Hawkland. I didn't go mention this because it's Hawkland Dix. He's a Bama boy. Okay, the right became the first player with the pick six in the first game against his former team since Clinton Dix did that in 2019. That's right. That is right, because I had to mention Clinton Dix because he's my boy. I love this guy. And of course, he and I both are Alabama boys. He and I both I'm from Alabama. He and I both play for the Tide, and I'm a big Tide fan. And a big Tide fan of him. Back to the rankings. We got number 25. We got the New York Jets at 25. And with that, they jumped up 3 spots from the 28th spot of the preseason rankings at number 25, even with the 0-1 record. And yes, see, looks like the number 7 allowed no sacks and 1 quarterback pressure in his debut. That's one of the reasons why they lost. They couldn't get not even a single sack on Rodgers. And Rodgers happened to be good amount of sacks on Rodgers in his lifetime. From his prime, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and then last year after the Achilles injury as well. Anyway, T.G. Watt and Alex. Okay, it was an assignment either. Okay, says quarterback pressure is 0. And that includes with 0 penalties. Okay, that is good. And it wasn't an easy assignment for either as the Steelers, because the edge rushers T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith was physical and quick in the run game. That's right. On the run game. And also Braylon Allen. I'm going to mention Braylon Allen. Yeah, we know Braylon Allen is a Wisconsin Badger himself. And, of course, he was, at the time back then, the ambassador for Iron Jock. You see me wear my Iron Jock out in hockey clothes, as well as my hoodie. I'm wearing it right now because it's a little warmer today, but I will be sporting that coming up as the weather changes up here. But anyway, yes, I also did that as well. But anyway, he had 8-yard run and got the second level. Made a key. Oh, that was a key block on Braylon, actually. And that's why he was big season. The big reason for the Jets rushed for 182 because of Braylon Allen was there. Miami's at 26. I could go on 28 or maybe 27 or even 29. With the way that game played out. Tua was the Bama boy, and we know he can sling it. But looks like he might need some help with that. Because with the loss like that, 30-8, with basically one touchdown and one touchdown with an extra point and either one touchdown and a safety, basically. Yeah, they definitely need help. In fact, they might need an exorcist or someone like that to get their team to be turned around. And they need to turn around fast because it won't be long before they start playing. We'll have their first when they start having conference games. I think the coach is a conference game, but I got to check on that. But anyway, at 27, also with the 0-1 record is the New England Patriots with their loss to the Raiders of the 2013. And yes, it dropped 4 spots from the preseason rankings of 23 to 27th. Okay, it says here that Landry says he was for the team. Looks like Landry was a team captain. Landry was voted as a team captain for the first time since high school. Hello, wow! I never thought a player would be a team captain in high school, but not in college, and then get it in the pros. That is interesting to me. Anyway, in the Patriots debut, the first year defensive coordinator Terrell Williams, who also coached him in Tennessee, previously said and this is him in quotes, he looks like a guy that got something to prove. I've always loved Harold. I see a more mature player that understands now in year 8 that was his role is and what he wants to be, end quote. All right, at 28, and also with a 0-1 record, the loser of the the losing team of the Broncos Tennessee game. I could have saying I could see a flip flop here with the Browns at 28 and the Tennessee at 29 because I know Tennessee has not been doing well and have been well in years as well. But this is how it came out for this season, for this one. All right, and then at 29, you got Cleveland as well. They only won one rank better than their preseason ranking at 30. But they lost to the Bengals. Let's see here. It looks like the third pick in the draft caught 7 passes Sunday, which was the most of a rookie tight end in week 1 since the AFL and the NFL merger in 1967. He is Timothy the Brown's second tight end behind David Njoku. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, let's get back in. We got at 30. You got the Panthers of Carolina at even though they want to start as well with the loss to the Jags, of course, with a score of 26-10. Excuse me, and of course they dropped 3 spots from the preseason rankings of 27 down to number 30. All right, we got the last 2 now. We know who these are. New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints. All right, 31 Giants, 32 Saints. They both started 0-1. Of course, the Giants lost to the Commanders 21-6. Saints lose their game to the Cardinals 21-13. In fact, the Giants dropped 2 spots to get to 31 as well, and then the Saints dropped 1 more worse than they were in their preseason at 31. Okay, that is your preseason, and now that is your power rankings going into week 2. Okay, now we got a little baseball going on, and yes, we are near the end of the regular season, which we also means that's right, MLB playoffs will be starting up. So make sure you have everything ready for that. So let me pull this up here. And of course, I'm using my new and improved ESPN app. Everything all in one. And hey, don't forget September the 20th, we have Festa Palooza, Western Palooza on ESPN, which will be the very first WWE event on ESPN. I'll be definitely watching, and I hope you will too. And of course, on the side note, I'm going to say this: the Dolphin star Tyreek Hill has been accused of domestic abuse or domestic violence. Just so you know. Okay, now little MLB. We have see 1, 2, 3. You don't have that many games left because the last game will be November Saturday. Actually, we got a while left yet. We got a while to go with that, but we are getting closer to. We are getting close to the MLB playoffs. Here's the games for today. We got. All right, I start down here. We got the Dodgers at 9:10 taking on the Rockies at home. Giants at 8:45 against the D-backs at home. Padres will be hosting the Reds on MLB Network at 8:40. At 8:38 for pitch, Angels will be hosting the Twins. Twins! At 6:40, got the White Sox taking on the Rays at home at 6:40. At 6:05, we got the Astros and the Blue Jays in Canada at 6:07. You got the Mets taking on the Phillies on the road at 5:45. We got the Nationals taking on the Marlins at 5:40. We got the Rangers taking on the Guardians at 5:40. And got the Red Sox and the A's going at it on the road. The Brewers and the Rangers. And the Brewers, if the Brewers has a chance to get to 100 wins. They're only 11 games away from 100 wins. And with that, those 11 wins, if they get there, Marty Brown with a prediction of 100 wins for the Brewers will come true. Anyway, like I said, Marlins will take on the Cardinals at 8:40. 6:15, the Braves will take on the Cubbies. Then you got the Pirates on the road in Baltimore at 5:35 to get on Baltimore. And tonight on TBS and True TV, we got the Yankees taking on the Detroit Lions at home at Yankee Stadium. That's definitely going to be a door. I'll be checking that out when I'm at the gym, get my workout on. While I wear my Iron Jock as well. And we got, all right, in the lead, the leading the two teams are gonna give you all the top the leaders in the American International League in the standings. So you know about playoff because we got one. And if you want to know about playoffs, once teams start clinching, if you have the blue square, that means they clinch the division. If it's like an orangey type square, that means they clinch the wild card. And then if it's a gray square, that means they clinched a playoff berth. That way, when you see that on your devices, when you pull that up, you know what is what. We got the Blue Jays and the Yankees are at 1 and 2 in the American League East, followed by the Red Sox and the Rays in the Baltimore Tigers, Guardians, Royals, Twins, and White Sox. And we know the White Sox are not going to get in at all. And that's for the Central. For the West, the Astros are in the league with the Mariners, then the Rangers, and the Angels, and then the Athletics. I doubt the Athletics will get in. There's no way. And now the NL. The Phillies are up at number 1 in the East with the Mets at 2, Marlins at 3, and the Braves at 4, and then the Nationals at 5 with 59 and 84 record as well. I can say this for sure that the Nationals will not be in the playoffs for sure. In the Central, we got the Brewers at number 1. We got the Cubbies at that, and they're up. They are, like I said, they are at 89 and 56. So that means they are, like you said, 11 games away from that 100 win mark. And they have more than enough time to get that mark, to win 11 games, to win 100 games. And I don't think they haven't won one in a long time or long at all. Anyway, the Red Sox are 3, and then go the Cardinals, and then the Pirates at 5. In the West, the Dodgers are leading the course, and then they got the Padres, Giants, D-backs, and then the Blue Mountains of Colorado. And yes, we always wondered about when a team can get 100 wins or more. Well, the Colorados have that with 104. In the lost column, that is. That's right there, 40 wins and 104 games lost. It's one thing when you have 104 games in the win column. It's another when you have 104 losses in the loss column. That's totally different when it's in the win column, 104 in the win, or 104 in the loss. This is how bad the Rockies, they need a help and they need a prayer. Be on the ministry and let them pray on their souls. And that was the Central as well. All right, now and that's your standings for the NL as of now. And I will bring that up. Oh, let me look at this. This is the part that I like about it, because this gives us the updated playoff bracket and the magic numbers for throughout September. And that basically giving us the seeds. The top 3, of course, are the Blue Jays, Tigers, and the Astros for the East, Central, and the West. For the East, will be the Red Sox at 5 and the Yankees at 4. WC. Then you got the Mariners for the West as well as 6 for that one. Looks like the winning percentages are for the Blue Jays is 0.573. Tigers is 0.569. The Astros is 0.54 to 542. There we go. Now the Yankees are with their winning percentage is 559. Red Sox is 500 and 552. And the Marlins is 528. So the American League wildcard standings are as followed: Yankees, Red Sox. Yankees with 4.5 games up. Red Sox with a 3.5 games up. And the Marlins. There's not a a plus number here. But then in the end of that, you got the Guardians, the Rangers, the Guardians, the Royals, the Rays, the Rays again, Joes, the Baltimore Orioles, the A's, and then you got the Twins, and then you got the White Sox. But we already know the White Sox have been eliminated. We know that for sure. The White Sox have been eliminated already. We knew that for a fact. And I know Colorado has too. All right, and now for the NL, for the playoff brackets, standings through games of the 8th of September, we got the Milwaukee Brewers at 89 and 56 with a winning percentage of 614. Excuse me. And we got at number 2, the Philadelphia Phillies with East with 84 and 60 with a winning percentage of .583. And of course the Dodgers for the West with a winning percentage of .556. Cubbies at 4 with a winning percentage of .6563. And then you got the Padres with a winning percentage of .549. And then you got the Mets with a winning percentage of .528. Now here's the wild card standings. You got the Cubs plus 5 games. You got the Padres plus 3 games. And then you got the Mets. And then after that, you got the Giants with 3 games back. Reds with 4 games back. D-backs with 4.5 back. Cardinals with 4.5 as well back. Marlins are 10 back, so they would need to get somewhat of a win out, but not completely. Braves are 11 back. Pirates are 12 back. And the Nationals are 16.5 back. And of course, the Colorado Rockies, like I said, I knew this was fact, that they have been eliminated as well. Magic numbers. And this is the magic numbers, the number of teams that have yet to clinch the postseason. AL is the Blue Jays, Yanks of. Let me see here for a second. Once we get a little closer to the end of this month and going into October, we start seeing how many games that need to be won to clinch a berth in the playoffs as well. No matter if it's the top, the middle, and or the bottom. And of course, the bottom will be the wild cards. You got for the AL is the Jays by 17x. Okay, 17 wins. Okay, I think it's 17. All right, these are the games you had to win to get to the playoffs. 17 for the Blue Jays. 17. I believe this is correct. I gotta double check this one, but for the playoff both for the Red Sox and the Marlins, they had to clinch with 14 and 18. For the Cubs, it's 11 for them. The wild card. All right, I'll give you that. Okay, let's do a little fantasy NFL talk, everybody. Let's see how I hope everyone had a good week in their fantasy leagues. I know I did pretty well, I believe myself. In my league that I'm in, I do a league. Yes, I am in it. I do one with my job with ESPN Radio Management. Anyway, let's These are the free agent picks and the key players to add for week 2. For quarterbacks, you got the Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr., Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back John Robinson. Also got Daniel Jones as well. He's at 4.9%. 20% for Michael Penix for him. Trevor Lawrence of the Jaguars with a 38.5% for him. You got, of course, Aaron Rodgers with 8.7% as well. Okay, now running backs. Dylan Smith, actually Dylan Simpson of Cleveland with a 32.8%. With a PPR of 100 or 17.3 as well. Deep legend options and streamers. Okay, you got DJ Gillens, you got Jonathan Taylor, the Alvin Kamara, and Kendall Miller, and Caleb Johnson, and Kenneth Gang, and Jalen Warren. Okay, let's see here. Percentage, let me see. I see only one percentage, and that's Kenneth Gangle, and that's at 1.9%. Wide receivers, okay. We got Quinn Johnson of the Chargers with a 3.6%. You got Julian Smith Schuster of the Chiefs with only a 1%. That's pretty low. Kevin Johnson III with the Steelers with a 2.3%. This was a low one as well. Keyshawn Beaumont of the Patriots with a 0.5%. You got Cedric Tillman of the Browns with 42.7%. All right, tight ends. We got, for the Browns, we got Harold Feynman Jr. with only 0.8%. And he has a PPR of 13.6. Now, I like the defense here, and we got a Green Bay Packer here with a 37.5%. And yes, we know who that is, and that's Micah Parsons. I figured that out for sure. And yes, I loved how Michael Parsons showed up this past Sunday and definitely making something special with the one sack he got. So everybody knows that this is first many of thousands of sacks coming in his career with the Packers. And he's at 37.5 for the Colts with a 32.2%. That's to do with looks like Devon Aiken and Tyreek Hill. Like the deep legend option streamers. 49ers, D-ST, 19% scored. Fantasy is points of 10 at Seattle. The Dallas Cowboys says Parsons lost in Philadelphia to open the season, and their DST forced a turnover. Okay, I'm not sure about that one. This has to do with the deep league option streamers, Parsons, but we know Michael Parsons is a big way Packer. We know that. I'm gonna stretch it out. There's that. Okay, let me do this one. This is a quarterback ranking of all 32 teams in week 2, starting from the worst, going to the best. And this is from the AL back. So we're going to start from the worst to the best. All right, let me see here. Let me see this here. I don't see much on that, so I'll just scratch that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about Thursday night football. That's right, the Green Bay Packers will be hosting and taking on the Washington Commanders and Jalen Daniels. Let me pull up Jalen Daniels' stats here. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it takes a minute here. Mm-hmm. All right, this is the stats coming in. I just go through it from his last game going into week two. Okay. Okay, what is this team? I want player. Let me see if I can do it this way. Here we go. Okay, now here we go. Okay, this is stats coming in from last game going into the Thursday night game with the Packers. He has 233 yards for a touchdown with a ranking of 98.3. Say Washington has 233 yards, one touchdown with a 90.3. So that one. Was this year or last year was 3,568. No, that was last year. And don't forget, he was just a rookie last year, so this is his second year for Jalen Daniels. So let's see how he's going to do against Jordan Love. If Jordan Love will somehow cannot do well against Jalen in terms of quarterback play, that can be a problem, but we'll see how that goes. But let's see how well that goes. See what else. Hey, sorry about this. We're going to just trying to this in. Okay, here we go. Now I got it. Here we go. Jamin Daniels is 19 for 30 passing, 230 yards with the one touchdown, no interceptions. Okay, his passing is passing has 19 completions with 30 attempts with a 63.3% in the 230 yards. And he's a 98.3 with the passer rating with PR. His rushing is 11 carries for 68 yards. His key moments, highlights was the throw, a 7-yard touchdown pass to the tight end. Connecting with Chris Moore for a 34-yard gain. And of course, was sacked 3 times for 21 yards. So that's all his That's his stats going into Thursday night's game with the Packers. Let me see if I can do this for Jordan Love. And yes, if you all want to follow me on my social media platforms, make sure you do. On Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, and all that. All my friends, and so if you go either one of those, click on the link of the link tree, and then gives you to all my platforms. And I'm at 101 followers finally on Facebook. And yes, I am live on Facebook right now. So thanks to you for coming in. And I still want to build. I still need more people. I want to get as many as get billions and billions of people in here. I want a whole lot. Yes, and make sure you do follow me on all my social platforms as well. And eventually I will be helping doing the show on the ESPN national side as well. That's my local ESPN as well. And make sure on next Wednesday on the 17th, you'll see me and Evan Cohen together on the Alex Sports Room podcast as well. Next Thursday, it's 11 o'clock, like 11. I said in the video, in the promo video, 12:30 his time is like 12:30 was there for him. And so it'll be here, it'll be like 11:30 right here for us, here in the Central Time. Here we go. Okay, all right, here we go. Jordan Love's numbers going into Thursday night's game. He's 128.6 yards passer rating. He had 188 yards with the 2 touchdowns. His performance against the Lions was his passer rating was 128.6. His attempts, his completions in the attempts was 16 for 22. His yards was 188 with 2 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing attempts, rushing 4 yards in his career Thursday night stats. This is his career Thursday night stats. His record is 2 for 2, 4 games. Total passing yards is 994 yards. Total touchdowns for all that is 7 touchdowns. Total interceptions for that is 2. His career PR is 106.8 for that for the Thursday night games. So that's what you got for the two going into Thursday night as well. So let's see who we're in Thursday night. And yes, we're still waiting to hear back from the NFL about Jalen Carter and his punishments that he's going to be facing because of him spitting into Dak's face last Thursday night. And I still can't believe that he did that. And yes, don't forget, this is the guy. This is the same guy that was when he was drafted was in that car wreck as well that killed a couple of people. Same guy, exact same guy. I think that was 2019. Let me double check that. Yeah, it was actually it was 2023. So that was just a couple of years ago. It was a car crash that killed a University of Georgia football player as well as Devin Wilcott and staff member Shanna Lee Coy. And I was following the Kings College Football Playoff Championship game. Well, Carter was racing Levi's vehicle at the speeds of 104 miles per hour just before Leroy lost control and crashed. Carter pleaded no contest and to misdemeanor, but charges for reckless driving and racing. Received forced 12 months of probation and, of course, that $1,000 fine and 80 hours other community service. He was forced a civil lawsuit for that as well. One Victoria Bell, the staff member who was also severely injured. So, yeah, completely killed and one severely injured as well on that. And now just 23, that's just a few years ago. And now this with the spit. And yes, he deserved to be ejected from that game. Okay, let me see. I got an update on that actually right here. So this is accurate. Okay, I don't see much of that right now. But once I do hear something about that, I will let you know right away. Okay, now. And make sure I hope everyone did download the ESPN app. And if you want the ESPN app for Wisconsin Madison, make sure you download that app as well as the ESPN National app, the new and improved. And we got a bunch of matches for the WWE. Full Festapalooza already that are coming together. And we got, one match is for sure, that I can think of off my head at least. And that's the match with okay, get it up. Excuse me. Oh, that's like Seth Rollins and it was Rollins and Brock Lesnar. No, actually not Rollins and Brock Lesnar, but it is Brock Lesnar and yeah, that's right. John Cena and Brock Lesnar. I'm definitely looking forward to that match for sure. I bet they're going to bring out all the stars in that match. They definitely should make that match and not a no holds barred, no rules, no countouts. Only to be the Mr. Basically, and to make to make them tap out or maybe like doing that quit match maybe or steel cage or a Hell in a Cell match. That would be a lot of fun for that match to be something like that. Especially when it's the newest Wrestlepalooza with that starting up. And of course that is on ESPN, the first one of many they're gonna have on ESPN now. Which now I am of course looking forward to that as well. Okay, we gotta talk some college football. Let's do a quick recap and then we'll go into this week. Yes, Alabama did bounce back with a 73-0 win. Same with Texas with a 38-7 victory as well. Ohio State really give it to Campbell with 70-0 and Penn State with FIU 34-0, 34-0. LSU gets their win Miami won. Georgia won easily. Same with Oregon. Clemson did win the game, but that was close. That was a 16-27 game, that was a 11-point win there. South Carolina gave it to South Carolina State, 38-10. Illinois did take off Duke, 45-19. Arizona State took Mississippi State, and Mississippi State got that one at home, 20-24. I come out to this one in a sec because this one's I want to especially want to talk about. Cal Poly loses easily, 9-63. Got Texas Tech. Let's see here. Kentucky nearly won their game, but Ole Miss poured it out with a 30-25 victory. And Texas won the game 44-22. BYU and Baylor win it. Baylor gets the win in not one but double overtime. Iowa State does beat Iowa by 3, 16-13. And now, what I really want to talk about is the South Florida game. We all know that South Florida Bulls last week alone won that game easily with a 34-7 victory in week 1. And now with this one, beating the 13th ranked Florida Gators, and winning that one on the road at the Swamp. And of course, this week they would take on the number 5 Miami, and that would be on the CW. Can they take Miami out like they did with Florida? I'd like to see them try. Out of that, let me see, they got one. Not that many teams that all like. Very few teams that are ranked, unranked. A lot of them are unranked, as well as not even well known, like maybe the Memphis and UAB will be, maybe Rice and FAU, but at all those, there's not much of that because these first 3 games are the ranked games that are severely significant as well, not just for the season, but also even a chance for a playoff, maybe. If they can pull off a victory over Miami, they can get up into the top 15, maybe in the top 10 or close to the top 5 with the win on Saturday next week. Actually, that's this week. Yeah, with the win this week against Miami. With the win right there. So now let's go into week 3 now. Yes, we do have Indiana taking on Indiana State on Big Ten, 5:30. Bama taking on the Badgers. Wisconsin, that's right. And on ABC at 2:30. And I know for a fact that Alabama's going to rebound and keep the momentum going from last week and go into this one. And take out the Badgers as well. Then after that, got Texas taking on an easier team, UTEP. Northwestern will be taking on the Ducks of Oregon on Fox also at 11. Clemson and Georgia State, that can be good one at 11 a.m. also on ESPN. The 11 a.m. games continue with Temple and Oklahoma, Central Michigan and Michigan. That was on Big Ten. Now 45, all takes on South Bama. That should be an easy one for them. On FS1 at 2:30, got Penn State taking on Villanova. And here's a good SEC matchup right here. Georgia, the Bulldogs of Georgia will take on The Volunteers are Tennessee in Rocky Top. 2:30 on ABC. Make sure you check your local ABCs, Fox, NBC, and CBS channels for these games in your area. And if you want to go with the ESPN bet, make sure you are 21 years or older for that. And of course, terms and conditions do apply. Oregon State will take on Texas Tech. Iowa State will take on Arizona State. Missouri will take on Louisville. Simulcast ESPN and SEC Network. Plus, they both be plus. And of course, the South Florida Miami, like I just said. Ohio will take on Ohio State on Peacock at 6. And then you got Illinois with Michigan. This will be easy on FS1. Ole Miss and Arkansas. Okay, Arkansas, they're both going into this game with a 2-0 record. And this game is at 6 o'clock on ESPN and on at 6:30 on ABC. We got the LSU Tigers and Death Valley taking on the Florida Gators. Can the Florida Gators bounce back from the and we'll just loss to South Florida and pull off a victory on the road at Death Valley? To find out. Got Texas and University taking on Notre Dame. This is going to be a top 10 matchup. Well, definitely a top 10 matchup with Notre Dame. Notre Dame is ranked 8th and Texas at 16. Basically doubled in rank there. That game says 6:30. I'll pick up at NBC, so make sure you check your local NBC stations there as well, and time in your areas also. Vanderbilt take on South Carolina. Can Vandy pull off an upset with them both going into that game with 2-0 record on the SEC Network at 6:45? And Utah will take on Wyoming as well, 2-0 for both of them going into that game on CBS at 7 p.m. as well. And that is a 7 o'clock game. And those are the games for this week in the top 25. There are more games going on, but these are the teams in the top 25. So if you want to check on the other games, make sure you do have that. Excuse me. Make sure you do download that new ESPN app, the new one. Make sure you can easily customize and do yourself. And, of course, watching the Tuscaloosa and everything else. All the content you can get. All the state shows like on Sportsmanlike. Get Up, First Take, and 30 for 30, and much, much more. I know. Okay, apparently I did grab this up early, but I will be doing some more episodes later on. Until next time, make sure you enjoy make sure you enjoy your weekend. Make sure you enjoy the Packer game, and make sure you have a wonderful weekend. See you on on Thursday night, pregame and postgame and hot time. Until then, I'll see you then.